1893, Chicago. The World's Fair was being held to praise human progress and light. But in a corner of this dazzling city of light, the darkest shadow was lurking. Before we dive into the story, please subscribe, like, and leave your detective comments on our channel, where we uncover all the world's mysteries. Your interest reveals deeper truths. Near the fairgrounds, in the Inglewood area, a massive 3-story building rose up. People called it a hotel, but its owner called it his castle. It looked like an ordinary commercial building on the outside, but its true purpose was not to serve guests comfortably, because this was a meticulously designed human slaughterhouse. The master of this terrible castle was H. Holmes. He is recorded as one of the first and worst serial killers in American history. What kind of person was he? His real name was Herman Webster Mudgett. He was highly intelligent, charming, and a con artist who easily gained people's trust. Women, in particular, easily fell for his gentlemanly ways. But behind his mask lay a greed for money and a pure demonic nature that took pleasure in controlling and killing people. Arriving in Chicago in 1886, he worked at a pharmacy, tricked the owner to take over the business, and used the money to buy the vacant lot across the street to start building his castle. Holmes was meticulous even during the construction process. He frequently fired and replaced architects and workers. Not only did he stiff them on wages, but the most important reason was so that no one would know the overall structure and true purpose of the building. Only Holmes held the blueprints in his mind. The building was completed in 1892. The first floor had ordinary shops, but the second and third floors, where the hotel rooms were truly a labyrinth of madness. Now, let's go inside. The moment you step into the second floor hallway, you lose your sense of direction. Corridors turn for no reason, and some lead to dead ends blocked by walls. Open a door and you expect a room, but some doors open to solid brick walls, or even a sheer drop into nothingness. The stairs were the same. Some stairs hit the ceiling with nowhere to go, while others were secretly connected to hidden spaces. All of this structure was a trap designed so that victims could not escape, and so that only Holmes could dominate this space. The guest rooms were even more terrible. Many of the 60 or so rooms were perfect sealed chambers with absolutely no windows. Some rooms had walls lined with iron plates, and others were perfectly soundproofed so that screams would never leak out. And many rooms had secret spy holes or peepholes drilled into them, so Holmes could look inside from the outside. Holmes must have enjoyed watching his victims trembling in fear, but the real terror was something else. It was gas. Some guest rooms were connected to gas pipes, but the valves could only be operated from the outside, like in Holmes's bedroom or the hallway, never from inside the room. Holmes would secretly open the valves at night to slowly, painlessly kill the guests with gas poisoning or knock them unconscious. Murder was all too easy. After the killing was done, how were the bodies disposed of? Holmes created a very efficient system for this. It was the secret chute. Some rooms had secret doors large enough for a person to fit through, connected to a slide that went straight down to the basement. Holmes sent unconscious victims or corpses down this chute to the basement. That place was his workshop. The basement was a gruesome factory, completely different from the hotel. It was filled with dissection tables and various surgical tools. Holmes was a medical school graduate. Here, he skillfully dissected bodies and stripped the flesh. This was not just murder, it was a business. What did he do with the stripped flesh and organs? On one side of the basement was a massive tank of acidic solution capable of dissolving a whole human body, or he would throw them into a quicklime kit to decompose them without a trace. But the most shocking facility was something else. It was a massive incinerator. A high-heat furnace capable of burning even human bones completely to ash was installed there. He disposed of the bodies perfectly. Sometimes he made money by selling the cleanly stripped skeletons to medical schools for anatomy practice. So who were the victims? They were mostly young, innocent women who flocked to Chicago chasing the glamour of the World's Fair. Holmes lured them to his castle near the fairgrounds, offering them cheap and safe lodging. He also placed ads looking for female employees to work in his hotel shops, forced the women who came to take out high-value life insurance policies, and then killed them. He also stole women's fortunes under the guise of marriage and killed them. His charm was his most lethal weapon. It is unknown exactly how many people disappeared in this hotel during the fair. It is only estimated to be anywhere from dozens to up to 200 people. After the fair ended, Chicago fell into a depression, and it became difficult for Holmes to find prey here anymore. He left Chicago and traveled across the U.S., continuing his insurance fraud and murders. His crimes knew no bounds. Eventually, he was arrested in Texas for horse theft, and was later caught in Philadelphia while trying to kill his partner for insurance money. Police traced his past and raided the castle in Chicago, and there, they faced a hellscape beyond imagination. Maze-like corridors, gas chambers, secret passages, and the incinerator and acid tanks in the basement, along with countless skeletal remains, were found. The press headlined this building the Murder Castle, and the entire U.S. was in shock. However, throughout the trial, Holmes denied his crimes, or mocked the world with false confessions. He even enjoyed the attention, spinning his story like a novel, saying things like, "I have the devil in me." Finally, he was sentenced to death for the murder of his partner, and was hanged in Philadelphia in 1896. After his death, what happened to that terrible murder castle? Most of it was destroyed by a fire of unknown origin. Rumors abounded that someone set the fire to destroy evidence of his crimes, but the truth was buried in the ashes. Now, let's take a closer look at this devil's blueprints. Let's look at the rooms on the second floor, the so-called 5 coffins. These rooms were long and narrow, barely enough for a person to lie down in, and structured so they could never be opened from the inside, to the air out. On the third floor were Holmes's private office and laboratory, which were also connected by mazes and secret passages. Passageways large enough for a person were hidden behind fireplaces, under wardrobe floors, and even behind mirrors. All these passages were routes for Holmes to appear silently anywhere in the hotel and to move bodies secretly. At the end of the body disposal chute in the basement, a huge elastic rubber mat was installed to silence the sound of falling bodies. Also, a special drainage facility was installed in the floor to handle the large amounts of blood from dissecting bodies. This building was not just a place for murder, but a perfect murder factory, where everything from killing to body disposal happened in one stop. H. Holmes and his murder castle show what kind of monster can be created when human greed and cruelty meet technology. This dark history hidden behind the light of the glamorous World's Fair remains one of Chicago's most terrible legends to this day. Before he died, he said, "I was born with the devil." Perhaps that devil is still trapped inside the massive castle he built. That's it for today's story of H. Holmes's murder hotel. What do you think about this meticulous devil's blueprint? If you found the video interesting, please click subscribe, like, and turn on notifications. Your small interest becomes the key to solving the next mystery. Please leave your various deductions and opinions in the comments. I will be back next time with an even more shocking mystery. Thank you for watching.